Eminem responds to Machine Gun Kelly's diss and it goes viral. A man gets eaten by a shark near Cape Cod. Paul McCartney's going to #1 in America. Triple G, Gennady Golovkin beats Canelo in Las Vegas in an epic boxing match. And Nike shares rebound after the Colin Kaepernick controversy. I go by the name of Johnny Massacre. You're witnessing the Johnny Massacre Show. Hello and how was your weekend? Eminem has been kicking some ass. I didn't think he was going to release a diss track actually, because if he does, he's going to make the other guy famous. But with hindsight, he had to. If you listen to the original diss, you can't just sit down while the guy's attacking you, because the diss had about 70 million YouTube views. So if this guy is profiteering off your name and making a claim to the throne, you have to assert your authority. And assert authority Eminem did. Have you heard the diss yet? My favourite line is, I'd rather be an 80-year-old me than a 20-year-old you. So Eminem's an easy target for his age, and Eminem clapped back at MGK for that. I wouldn't even know about MGK if it wasn't for his diss parasiting of Eminem. Look, both artists are going to benefit. Eminem is going viral right now, pushed by this diss. To bring into perspective about the virality of Eminem right now, within 2 days he had about 45 million views on his diss, whereas Mariah Carey released a song about 3 days before that and it's only just hit 2 million views. So people do like a good battle and a good feud. You should have a look at the stats, because it's the 11th most viewed video of all time on YouTube within 24 hours, and you can see there at number 11 Eminem with 30 million views. Number 1, Rings Prank with 200 million, that's some going. Number 2, Chewbacca Mask Lady with 50 million. I haven't even seen these and I don't want to. But Eminem, he's back, people, and he is going viral as we speak. Now, Paul McCartney, he's going to #1 in America. He hasn't been at #1 for a long time. I guess about 30 years. I think Paul McCartney's last #1 album was 36 years ago on the Billboard Hot 100. I think that was in 1982, called Tug of War. And I just think it's amazing that someone at 76 can still do this. He's still got a big fan base, obviously. I think a lot of the people who love the Beatles, they're still alive. They're probably, at the time of the Beatles, the 10-year-old fans are now in their 60s. And so I guess they did the marketing right for this one. Paul McCartney, congratulations. It's interesting that in the UK, Eminem is still at #1 with Kamikaze, and Paul McCartney's new album, Egypt Station, couldn't knock that off the top spot, even though England is Paul McCartney's country. So the differences in the markets and consumers between America and England, I always found very interesting. Everyone wants to crack the US market. A lot of people in the UK have a go and fail. I don't think Oasis were very big in America, right? I think they're kind of fucked up over there. Were they big in America? Let me know in the comments. But the Beatles smashed it in America. They were huge over there. So have a listen to it, Egypt Station. I had a listen and it kind of sounds like an old man singing. I'm going to give it a few more listens because I love the Beatles. But generally, I don't like these legacy artists who come back with an album way past their prime. They're usually quite cheesy. Egypt Station by Paul McCartney. Now, there was a massive boxing match over the weekend. It was this guy called Canelo, who's this Mexican guy with ginger hair, and this guy called Gennady Golovkin, also known as Triple G, who has never lost before. Canelo's only lost once to Floyd Mayweather, who himself has never lost. Floyd Mayweather, one of the best boxers of all time. And Canelo inflicted Gennady Golovkin's first defeat. So I saw some of this match and it was pretty interesting because it really could have gone either way. And if you have a look at the scorecard here, you can see that going into the final round, the white judge scored it 10-9 in favor of Canelo. The blue judge scored it 9-10 in favor of Triple G. And the pink judge also, same as the white judge, scored it 10-9 in favor of Canelo. So that last round, if the white and the pink judge had scored it the other way, 10-9 in favor of Triple G, the whole thing would have been a draw. And why that's controversial is that final round, a lot of people think it went to Triple G. Now, I've seen it, and I would like to say that it went to Triple G. I just think he connected with more punches, and although Canelo was brave and refused to give in, he was always moving forward. He wasn't counter-punching like their last clash. It was Triple G. So when the match finished on Twitter and so on that liberal screed, a lot of people were saying it could have gone either way. It was pretty fair. But now in the wake of it, more and more people seem to be waking up to the fact that Triple G should have at least drawn or maybe even won the match. So conspiracy theorists are saying that because Canelo is 28 and Triple G is about 36, they want Canelo to be the new poster boy for boxing, and so the judges are kind of fixed. In their last bout, one of the judges scored it 118-110 in favor of Canelo, and that was never the case. In the last match, Canelo was quite on his back foot, and Triple G was quite methodically just picking him off with this evil jab. So I thought the last game should have gone to Triple G as well. And Triple G must be fucking pissed the fuck off, man. If you look at his record, you can see he's won every single professional bout since 2006. His first non-win was a draw to that guy, Canelo. Then he went on to beat some other person, and then he lost to Canelo. So he must be pissed. And I've just read an article saying, oh, Canelo's finished. Oh, sorry, Triple G's finished. It definitely was Canelo's match, and he shouldn't go for a rematch or whatever. Mate, there has to be a rematch because they've both taken an L against each other. We have to see who the champ is. The rematch is going to bring in too much money for it not to happen, and I want to see that as soon as possible. So Johnny Massacre bringing you up to date on the boxing world. Now, a shark has killed someone at Massachusetts Beach. Now, Cape Cod over there in the US is famous for great white sharks right now. They're always hitting the news because of the explosion in the seal population out there. So it doesn't come as a big surprise that someone has got munched. Now, apparently the last person to get munched over there near Cape Cod was 80 years ago. So this guy is rather unlucky. There's not much else other to say about it than it's blatantly a great white, but we can't assume it is until we get the report. Is it just me, or every time you go in the sea you think about sharks, even if you're not in a sharky kind of place? But especially if you're out in some tropical place, everyone thinks about sharks when they get in the water, right? Because I read some article on the counterfeit, or should I say crappy news network CNN, about the shark attack. And the surfer who was quoted, one of the guy's mates who died, said, you never think it's going to happen to you. And I think that is a surfer thought. Because regular people, every time we get in the ocean where we know they're great whites, we probably consider for at least a second that they're out there and we could get eaten, even though there's a very low chance of that. What do you, watching, think about when you get in the water, especially in a tropical place? Do you even consider that stuff? Am I just an anxious person? Sharks, you want to stay away from them because they can kill you. Now, finally today, fucking Colin Kaepernick. So yeah, Nike adopted Colin Kaepernick as their poster boy of victimhood and guilt, and they're basically profiteering off black misery because he's protesting against police unfairly killing black people, even though if you look at the stats, they do not support that whatsoever. And Nike are kind of tapping into these vibes. Nike, they're not stupid. They have some of the best advertising teams in the world. And I looked at their share value. What did I see? Well, they have rebounded. So let's look at the Nike shares right now at this very second. We'll go to 1 month. So this was the Colin Kaepernick controversy around September the 4th, I believe, and or end of August. So you can see the shares tanking, but now they've recovered, and they're up. And if you look at 6 months, it's part of a trend. It's been going that way anyway. So look, if there was no controversy here, let's imagine this is a straight line. Then the line is going like this, going like this, going like, going. Oh, here it is. Oh, sorry. This is a controversy. This very small bit here. So lines going up, going up, going up. Imagine there was no controversy. You'd have to say it's probably going to go up anyway. So I think that actually looks kind of poor, all things considering. If you're launching a new major ad campaign in Times fucking Square, what you want to see is like, boom, something like this. Look at that. That was a ridiculous rebound. I think at this point they released some new product. There was definitely no like horrible controversy here. I think a lot of the times when the shares drop, there haven't been new products for a while, so they're probably holding off, and then boom, it came back. So if you really want to say that Nike has done the right thing, I'm not talking morally, of course, I'm just talking in business terms, by putting Colin Kaepernick as their face, you want to see a fucking spike like that, motherfucker. But it just looks like it's recovered and continued on its way. So you want to see these sharp spikes with a new product, and I don't see a sharp spike, I just see a sharp drop. We'll have to be fair though, let's give it a bit more time. It's going to be interesting to see how this works in the long term. I mean, if Nike's core audience aren't white, because I think no white person will sympathize with this kind of victimhood and guilt if they voted for Trump and they're kind of a bit tribal. It's us versus them, you know, it's whites versus blacks, it's like whatever. So I think that if those people don't make up a lot of Nike customers, then okay, why don't you pitch your product to minorities who make up a massive percentage of the American population? Although I can't imagine that just pissing off your white consumers is a good idea, considering that white people make up the majority of the population in America. So yeah, I wouldn't have done it if I was Nike, but I can kind of see why they did it. They knew it would get a response from Donald Trump, so they kind of baited it that way. And it's just annoying that we have to talk about race politics with Nike, which is a sports brand. When I talk about sport, I want to talk about the sport. I don't want to talk about white and black and this, that, and a third. It's so tiresome. And that's what Nike is associating their brand with. I don't know. So that's pretty interesting, I've got to say. And that is that. We've talked enough about the news. So now it might be time to talk about my life. If you looked at last episode, you might have seen that I was looking to buy a house because I want to make a hotel. Haven't moved forward on that at all. The timing needs to be so good. So you find the house, and then if you find a good house, it's going to be sold pretty quickly. And in that time, you have to get a lawyer to look at it and say that it looks legit for a small hotel. Then you have to hire an architect to look at it and see if it's okay. And if it's not, you have to work out how much the upgrade cost is going to be. And if you're building the place, then you have to work out how it's going to be built, especially for a small hotel. So you've got all these fees already, lawyer fees, architect fees, before you've even registered to buy it. Then you've got to chat to your investors or whatever. They have to be okay with it. Then you can apply to buy it, and then you might not even get it. So you're just going to be pissing money down the drain before you can even get on it. But hey man, getting on the ladder, it's never been easy. So I've been doing that shit. Fuck all that. I might just fucking be a starving artist. This is stopping me buying a bunch of mastering equipment, and it's really pissing me off because there's two pieces of equipment that I really fucking need. One is a valve EQ equalizer, probably most importantly, and the other one's a very special compressor. And I can buy it right now, but because I'm pissing around with this hotel business, I'm wondering what I'm going to do about that. Do I just throw caution to the wind and go for the music? Because if I do, I really need your support and Patreon donations, patreon.com/Johnny Massacre. Because if I do go that way and I don't get any patrons or financial support, I'm going to have to resort to petty crime to get by. So it's, you know, this whole my little side business thing with a hotel is affecting my music business. Sometimes you got to speculate to accumulate. You got to spend a bit of money on the things you don't want to fucking spend it on in order to get even more money and just live the life of Riley. I don't fucking know, because I like just doing things off the cuff. I'm a creative man. The life and times of a creative. That's why you watch the Johnny Massacre show, I guess. What else is going on my life? I'm putting on weight. I think I'm 83 kilos or more, and I was down to 79.5 in the summer. I was well motivated for the Beachbody, but I've been doing more weights, and you can't be that light if you're doing those weights. So I've got into this habit. I'm still eating one meal a day, and I'm still low carb, but I get into this habit where I go mad and I eat so much, it is just insane. You would not believe how much I can eat. In my local yakitori restaurant, I have the record for most ever eaten in 12 fucking years, and professional fighters and boxers have been there. I can eat a lot, and now I'm packing it in, so I've got to keep it under control. I actually want to show you a picture. I told you I'm obsessed with cayenne pepper, and I took a picture for my mate David Vega, who I've been playing Halo with a long time online. He asked me to take a picture of this, because I asked him, is it weird that I just put loads of cayenne pepper on cheese and mustard? Is that weird? And he said, I've got to take a look at it first. So I took a picture, and it's fucking shameful. And this is not as much cayenne as I even usually use. So is that weird? That's basically a mountain of cheese covered with mustard, and there's some pepper in there as well, and just cayenne pepper all over that shit. I've got a fetish for cayenne pepper, man. It makes me happy talking about it. But I'm putting on weight, so I'm still good. I still look good, but I've got to lose fat. So my next mission really is to work out how to be heavier with more my muscles, but not have a lot of body fat. And I think the answer is super low carb. We'll have to see how it goes, but I don't want to get into this habit of fucking just stuffing myself. Don't want to get into that habit. So what else is going on in my life? There's a festival this weekend I'm DJing at. I'm on 2 of the stages. It's a kind of summery festival. We still have some warm weather out here. Fingers crossed the weather's going to be good for my performance. So hopefully you'll get some footage of that, or a little bit of media for next time. So I'm pretty excited about that. And also I played a bit more Winning 11 or Pro Evolution Soccer on my PlayStation 4 with my mate Luke. I didn't beat him once. He absolutely destroyed me again. So I really fucking hate losing, but I don't really have enough time to practice. That is my excuse. Now we go to the mailbox. Last time, I'm sorry, David H. Lang, I didn't say your name. That was the guy who asked me 2 questions about my best experience in Japan, and are Japanese people friendly? The answer in short, best experience in Japan was going to Shibuya Scramble Crossing. And are Japanese people friendly? Depends how you define friendly. Also, Luke DeLam gave me some advice to check out Scott Pilgrim. I checked it out. It seems interesting. It's one of those things where it's influenced by influences and comes out as something new. Does that make sense? Probably doesn't. But what I'm trying to say is you get these weird creations where someone is influenced by foreign culture and they attempt to copy foreign culture, but then they become something new. So you get these Japanese girls trying to emulate Westerners, trying to dress like Westerners, trying to do makeup like Westerners, but when they do that, then it becomes something completely new unintentionally, and then that completely new thing inspires other people to copy that. So it's like this weird Chinese whispers form of influence. It's like influenceception. And I think there's this generation of animators that have grown up liking Japanese anime in the West, and then they'll copy the Japanese anime, but it will invariably have these Western hallmarks, and then people kind of copy that, and that looks what Scott Pilgrim is. It was created by someone who's Western, but it's blatantly influenced by Japanese stuff. So I had a look at it, so thanks for that recommendation. Let's get on to the new questions. Charlie Herrera, it's not really a question, but he is asking me when I'm going to review this movie. He said, I got to talk about the new Predator movie. He recommended that I talk about the new Predator movie when I get a chance, because it's a total waste of an opportunity. Mate, that movie's such a waste of an opportunity, I can't even be bothered. I saw the Metacritic, and no. I saw the trailer, and there's a bigger Predator that we have to kill this time. Sorry. But the tone of the movie seemed quite right. It was a little bit jokey, kind of seems to be inspired by the camaraderie of the original Predator cast, but Let me know in the comments, do you want me to go and take one for the team and see this fucking Predator movie just for your enjoyment and do a rant about it? Do you want me to? And you know what? I don't even know if this shit's out in Japan. Comes out June 27th, 1987. No, that's not what I want. Upcoming releases for Japan. Let's have a look for Predator. Because if it's out and you comment and you say that I should do it, I'll fucking do it just to make you happy. It's not even on IMDb's database at all for upcoming releases. So the only thing I can do is, I'll show you this, go to this Japanese website. Oh look, it's here, there it is. First of the so now playing. Oh, it's playing now? If you want me to see Predator, I'll go fucking see it. What about Pooh Bear? You want me to go fucking see Pooh Bear? Fucking hell. I saw Ant-Man, I could do a review of that, but I just thought it was a bit of a nothing movie, so I didn't. And there's not many other upcoming things. Do you want me to go see this weird anime and review it, even though I'm not going to understand it? Or Power Rangers or something? Look at the Japanese movie release. It's retarded. Do you want me to go and see Predators? If you do, I'll go and see it. Thanks, Charlie, as always. So, someone asked me on Instagram, Bouljasoy, which is a play on Soldier Boy's name, BOULJA_soy. It's like a soy boy. That's a great name, Bouljasoy. What's your diet and routine? My diet has kind of gone out the window, but my routine would be this. Ideally, 1 day off a week. And every time I take a day off, it seems like I fucking need it. Because if you do a lot of training, it catches up with you. You start picking up these niggly injuries. If you just chilled a bit, did a light run or some light training, and have 1 day off, it's going to help you a lot. So I take a day off and I need it. Some people don't. They can still do a 20-minute run or whatever. I think if you can, you should. You should do a little 20-minute run, 40 minutes, a light one, even on your day off if you're a beast, if your body can take it. But I don't think mine can. So 1 day off, I hit the gym twice a week. And when I go to the gym, I do exactly the same routine every time. I do 100 bench press. I'll start off and do as heavy as I can, which is about 95 kilos. I did 100 last time, but to do 100, my body weight has to be about 83, 84 kilos, and I want to be a little bit lower than that. So I start off, do 100 bench press, as hard as I can do it, so about 3 or 2 of something ridiculous, and then I'll take off 5 kilograms, and then do that until about 10, then take off 5 kilograms, and do that till about 20. You see where it's going. So I just keep going less and less until I get to 40 kilograms, and then I'll end up on 50 with 50 to go to make up the 100 lift quota, and then I'll do 50 of the 40 kilogram. So you're doing a lot, and you're doing heavy and small. You're doing a bit of everything. So I'll do that. And before that, I'll probably do 7 or 8 chin-ups, or 9 if I can. It's my max. After that, I'll do boxing mitts. So I'll do 3 rounds. I'll do 2 rounds. 3 rounds of just killing myself. Absolute, give everything you can on the boxing mitts. Then after that, I'll do ab work. I've got a special ab routine. If you want to know, I'll tell you. And I will do, and then I'll do bicep curls. So I don't have amazing biceps, but I just want to keep a shape. And so I'll just do 50 of those, 2 sets of 25. And that is pretty much, I do that twice a week. And then on the other days, so there's 1 day rest, we've got 4 more days, will basically be running. So I try to run at a fast pace for 2 of those, and the other 2 will be light, or the other 1 will be light, depending on how I'm feeling. So running, which is aerobic exercise, staying at my aerobic threshold. If you want to know about all this shit, I can tell you. If you do aerobic exercise, you burn fat. If you do anaerobic exercise, you burn sugar and carbs. So when I'm in the gym, I'm burning sugar and carbs, glucose, glycogen. When I'm running, I'm burning fat. And so yeah, it has to be aerobic running. If you run too fast, it's anaerobic. You start using your muscles more, and it's more about that and the glycogen stores in your muscles, as opposed to the oxygen and the way your heart works, which is aerobic exercise. So gym and running, and one of those runs is a 2-hour run basically. And I used to be able to do 2 of those a week at full pace, but I've been injured for so long, so now I'll do it at full pace, but you got to be careful with the 2-hour run. If you got a beastly body, you can just smash through it. If you don't, I'd be careful, because you can really injure yourself. So then, as far as eating goes, it's 1 meal a day, And when I eat, I try to make it the smallest window of possible, because the longer you're not eating for, the more you're burning fat. And around the 18 hour mark, apparently you're burning shitloads of fat. And in order to burn fat, it's not just about intermittent fasting, which is what I'm doing, 1 meal a day. It's also about the carbs you eat. So there's something called the glycemic index, and that's how much your blood sugar basically spikes when you eat certain foods. And if your blood sugar spikes a lot, your body releases a lot of insulin, which is a hormone which converts that carbohydrate into glucose and glycogen and energy. And so you should, if you want to lose a lot of weight and be lean, you should try to avoid all processed carbs, especially things we weren't ever designed to eat, like potato chips, bread, things like that, pasta. And also, I basically don't drink any alcohol, because even if I eat everything I'm supposed to eat, I still feel fucking starving. And you have to have a calorie limit every day. You cannot go over that limit. That is a secret. Buy some digital scales, work out how many calories you're eating. It will shock the shit out of you when you first realize how many more calories you're eating than you should be. Then if you do everything I said, so you exercise like pretty much every day, and if you have 1 meal a day or one or two, try to have 16 hours at least before your last meal. Then if you actually start weighing the calories, so you're basically not consuming more calories than you burn, then the weight will start to fly off. And right now I'm not even really, on a lot of days I don't calorie count. I just have 1 meal a day, but it's not enough. So that is the real key, the final key in order to having a good body, I reckon, is on top of doing exercise and on top of intermittent fasting, you've got to weigh your food and work out how many calories you're eating and calorie count. Because I've tried every fucking thing under the sun to kind of lose weight and get more trim. The only thing that really works is eating less calories, burning more calories than you consume. And you can work all this shit out online. There's loads of info. There's like calorie calculators. You put in your height and weight and how much exercise you do, and it tells you roughly how many calories you need to maintain or start losing weight. And that is the fucking key, is burning more calories than you consume. And so that is the routine. That's my perfect routine. But right now my routine is 1 meal a day. And after weightlifting, it fucks me up. I want to sleep more and I get ravenously hungry. So I think right now I'm just eating fucking what I want to eat on a lot of days, which I shouldn't be doing. But yeah, I think one bit of advice is, after doing heavy exercise like weight training, I think it's okay to eat a little bit more calories just on that day afterwards, because otherwise it's going to fuck you up so much you're going to crash, and then you're going to start binge eating. And honestly, mate, like when I was doing weights, a lot of weights, and being really strict on the calories and still losing weight, there were some days the way my body felt, it was wrong. I wasn't giving it enough of something. I don't know what it was, whether it's protein, fat, calories, not eating enough vegetables, getting certain vitamins, not having enough salt, water, I don't know, but it was fucking me up. So if you do what I do, you can only go so far. You're losing weight, but you're also like doing weights. There comes this point where you plateau and you can't really start losing any more weight for the amount of weight training you're doing. It doesn't go together well. So I think if you wanna start losing weight, that wasn't your question, it's what your routine is, but I'm assuming most people have a routine because they want to lose weight, right? Most people. So I think don't overdo it too much on the exercise. Focus on the calories. Eating so many calories a day, you're guaranteed to just lose weight. And if you do exercise, you're going to lose even more. And if you do intermittent fasting, you're going to lose even more. So that is pretty much my daily routine. Yes. Other questions. I don't know if I answered this last time, by Caleb Buick, at KalebBuick on Twitter. What's your opinion on gun control? I might have answered this on a Johnny Massacre show that I binned and re-recorded, but my opinion on gun control is, in England, the guns are controlled and you hardly ever see guns. The thing is, in England, apparently it's got more crime than America or something now, in London or something like that. There were stats like that recently, and apparently we have a serious knife crime problem. So if you ban guns, you might have other things. And then the argument is, well, even though you might then see an explosion of knife crime, is that kind of the lesser of two evils? Because guns, there can be a lot of collateral damage. People can get killed. And also you can get killed by distance and from far away and you don't know where someone is. But with a knife, they're probably going to be able to do less damage. Is that preferable? I'd say it is. So you know, I just think if they immediately banned all guns in America, made it illegal, it would stop some crime, because you can still get guns, but they're going to be people who they're too introverted to find something on the black market, and they can't just go to a gun store and get something, so they're probably not going to end up doing it, or it would delay them a bit. So I think that might actually happen, but at the same time, I do understand the argument that Americans need guns to defend themselves against government tyranny. I think that's in that's the reason why guns are allowed in America. One of the reasons is because it's to fight government tyranny. So I used to think that was ridiculous, but then looking at after the Trump-Hillary thing and the way liberals are trying to remove Trump from office just because they don't like the result, that's tearing down a democracy, and I want a fucking gun if that ever happens, because I don't want these lunatics ruling over me and then censoring things and banning speech and all kinds of shit. That's when you want a gun. Think about it. So it's a very difficult debate, and I don't know enough about it really. But look, you know, guns are illegal in England, and we don't really have a gun problem like America, unless someone's going to blow my mind with some left field stats. But really though, you know, we don't even talk about it in England. It's not even on the table of discussion about things to worry about. You know, be careful out there, or in this neighbourhood you might get shot. People don't talk like that in England, but yeah, you could get stabbed. So yeah, those are my thoughts on gun control. She also asked, what's your opinion on Agenda 11 and 13? I don't know what that means. With censorship of the internet. Censorship of the internet. Censorship's evil. This is the free market, right, of ideas. This should be the kind of, it's like a public square, people say, the internet. And I think it should be a human right. I can't believe we even have to pay for it. And if it was free, then the economy would be boosted everywhere, because in this information age, look at how it's fucking making the economy go mad, like Airbnb and Uber, and the government are even trying to curb that. We need to stop curbing the internet. But the big old corporations that have political ties are really, really concerned about the freedom of the internet, and they want to censor everything. They got rid of Alex Jones. He's a knob, but you can't just censor him. You got to allow for free speech. Hate speech is free speech, and to ban hate speech is banning free speech. And if you want free speech, it's just one of the annoying things about it that you have to put up with. The alternative is censorship, and who dictates what is censored and what isn't? The government. So be fucking careful what you wish for, lefties, because if you want to push censorship, if you want to have this war, that means whoever gets into power in the future might be able to censor whatever you say. So if you're a lefty and you say, oh, being proud of your country is wrong, America sucks, you can be put to jail. Do you really want to have a country that has thought police like this? And so censorship of the internet is fucking evil. And the worst thing is the biggest companies in the world are all left wing. Google and so on, they're all left wing. Amazon as well. So censorship is the biggest threat to the free world today. It is like the cancer of the information age. Fuck censorship. It's all about reality. And I don't know if I answered this question either, but my mate, he said, why are you sporting a hairstyle like Stan Laurel? I think he means Laurel and Hardy, like the British comedian. He's got a hair like an electric shock. But yeah, at least I have hair to criticize, unlike Ali, who criticized me. He's bald. He's wearing a cap to conceal it in his picture. I love you, Ali, though. I love you. He's a good guy. He's my mate. That's the mailbox for today. Finally, something I'm loving right now. Apple cider vinegar. So this is one of these new buzz things for diets. You should drink apple cider vinegar because you're going to lose weight. Apparently, it lowers your blood sugar. What I talked about earlier, the thing which basically makes you retain body fat is having blood sugar spikes. And apple vinegar apparently lowers your blood sugar because it lowers your insulin response. So I've been drinking that, and I was necking it. And apparently you're only supposed to have a few teaspoons, but I drink loads of it. It fucks you up, man. And apparently it makes you want to eat less, but nothing will stop me from eating. It doesn't matter what you put in my way. I'm smashing through it. So apple cider vinegar, if I haven't mentioned that already, got terrible memory. Mustard, you know I like mustard. I went to Costco and I got 8 fucking things of mustard, so I got shitloads of mustard. Costco, I'm not loving. I saw a video online of their salmon, and it had a tapeworm in it, fucking writhing around. So I was looking at all the salmons in Costco trying to find another tapeworm. I didn't find one. They must have cleaned up their acts. I reckon, how many people go to Costco and fucking start looking for tapeworms because of that video? Have you ever done that? I want to know in the comments below, because that was a big viral video. I'm not going to show it because it's so gross. But I bought some blueberries, and I was laughing when I was looking at the American produce, because you know it's such shitty quality. We're spoilt for quality in Japan. If it looks good, it tastes good out here. But in America, it might look good but be kind of funny. You know, the whole white picket fence culture thing. David Lynch, that movie where it shows the white picket fence at the beginning, but then the camera goes down and there's all these insects writhing in the dirt. Isn't that a metaphor for American middle class life? It's the same metaphor for the blueberries in Costco, because on the surface they look kind of nice and juicy, but when you open it up and look a little deeper, it's got this white fluff on it. So it's gone from tapeworms to white fluff. Fuck Costco, fuck all that shit. But they do have a few good things, so I'm kind of liking Costco and not really liking it. And what else am I loving? Reading, of all things. I used to hate reading because I've got really bad ADD. I'm very creative, but my attention span's always flitting from one thing to the other, like it is just now. But I've kind of started to like reading a little bit. I'm reading this book called The 48 Laws of Power, which is the most popular book among prison inmates. Tell that to any man, he's going to rush out and buy the book or download it straight away. But it is cool. It's a very cynical book, but I've learned a lot from that, and I absolutely love it. So that's something I'm loving right now, and that's about it for today's Johnny Massacre Show. You have been witnessing the Johnny Massacre Show, and I went by the name of Johnny Massacre. Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to comment. Comments is what keeps me going. When people big me up and they're like, man, I like this or enjoyed this part, it makes you want to make another show. So come on, I feed off you. Leave me some comments and like and subscribe and share and tell your mates, because hey man, the wolves are at the door. We've got to make something happen. See you on the next one, people.